loved the hideout. Is she talking about the rugby rumors again? Kala leaned in, whispering in Tasha's ear, or rather her earpiece. You are such a perv. I can't believe I'm considered the wild one. Kala and Kenzie were her sisters. They were 14 months younger. Perfect twins. If one looked at them, they wouldn't be able to tell the two apart. Right up until their mouths opened. And then it was righteously clear who was who. Kenzie was sunshine and puppies, and yes, a smidge of sexual perversion, who could blame her, while Kala spoke mostly sarcasm and genuinely enjoyed knife fights. Seriously. Tosh had seen her start a couple because the op was taking too long. There was not an ounce of patience in Kala's bones. It wasn't easy being their handler. It was easy as breathing to be their sister. Sometimes. Now was not one of them. You know, I didn't want any of you to come with me. I'm just getting a drink before we start the op, she said quietly. Kala's brows rose, and for a second she looked so much like their dad it hurt. Sure you are. That's why you let Ken's pick your look at my boobs top? God. She was so glad her father was hours and hours away, sitting on a beach in Loa Mali, probably perving on their mom because that was what he did when he wasn't running his highly successful security company or working for the CIA. Lou frowned Kala's way. You know why she's wearing it. She's had a rough time, and she needs to get back on the horse. It's been months. This is the perfect scenario. Whoever she meets tonight, she will have zero chance of seeing again because we're about to go into the not-so-fun dungeon for the rest of the op. Lou would be sitting right beside her in the safe house, listening to whichever twin wasn't out in the field moaning about how bored she was. Kala, don't be such a bitch. You know how hard the last couple of months have been on Tosh. Kenzie complained into her ear, despite the fact that Kala wouldn't be able to hear any of what she was saying. She has the right to walk into a skanky bar and find a dude to ride for a couple of hours before she ditches him heinously and moves on to the next. Tosh is transitioning into her slutty phase, and I am here for it. Put like that, this whole thing sounded like a horrible idea. Not that there would be a next for quite a long time. Lou was right about that. I want to get a drink and have a night of fun before the op begins. That's all. If I find a nice man to spend the night with, so be it. I'm away from the hotel. I've got wingmen to make sure if I happen to pick a serial killer, at least you'll know who killed me, and hopefully the boys don't figure it out because the last thing I need is Cooper McKay riding in like my big brother. The team included her two sisters as the main operatives, Lou working tech, and their childhood friends Cooper, who could fly or drive pretty much anything, and their computer whiz Tristan, who dealt with all things communications. Zachary Reed handled the military side of their ops. Tristan would laugh and tell her to get laid and have fun. Cooper would give her a lecture on situational awareness and probably talk to her about the fact that she was having an emotional reaction to what had happened to her. Zach knew where they were, and he was totally fine with the idea of a fun night out before a long mission. It wasn't so surprising she'd had some emotions connected to finding her fiancé fucking a gorgeous MSS agent. He'd claimed he was doing it all for the op he'd been on, and that was likely true. Her father had rules involving what he called honeypot ops. Flirting was fine, but he wasn't going to allow any operative under his command to fuck for information. He claimed it was because he knew how it felt, but she wondered if he would have the same convictions if he wasn't in charge of his daughters and a group of men and women who'd called him Uncle Ian all their lives. Her fiancé's handler had no such rules. He'd promised her it meant nothing, and she should understand because she was agency too. It meant something to her, and it meant something to the MSS agent who had damn near killed both her and Chet Whittington because she'd rapidly figured out what was happening. Tosh had blown it up.